Hey everybody, it's me, Ray Campbell, owner of the Columbia Company here in Columbia, South Carolina. Today I'm going to show you a very easy way to repair the drywall damage you might have in your home or office. These steps are very simple. It'll make your job look like a professional and you'll save yourself a lot of money. So let's get to it and let me show you how it's done. Here's tools and material you're going to need. You don't need all this. I'm showing more than you actually need. Technically, you could get by with the bare minimum. Don't forget to put your drop cloth down. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut me a piece of sheetrock here that I'm gonna have to match my color. I would take this to the local painting supply house and have them match this on their machine. That's about what I want to cut that hole to be. So this is just kind of like a guide. And what you do is place this pattern over your hole and then mark it around this perimeter, and then you would cut it out on your marks, making the hole like this. And you're going to take this on the back side, be 1 inch bigger than the pattern that we used. 1 inch bigger, you see that? And then I'm going to cut the back side, see? I'm going to cut the back side. I'm going to cut all the way across. I'm just going to scribe it easy, nothing fancy. I'm going to do it all the way around, just like that. And then I'm gonna break it. Now don't worry that it's a little bit out of square, but you see how that just tears right off? You break it and you pull it right off. You leave that paper on the front. You pull that off and just pull it real easy. Don't try to pull it all on one end, just pull it easy. You take it with your hand and just fold it and it breaks, and you just peel it back, and you see how that leaves it? It leaves 1 inch all the way across the front, see? You see how that fits right in there? Now listen, it don't always fit the very first time. Sometimes you made your pattern just a little bit bigger. All you got to do is just cut your hole just a little bit bigger. Just scribe it easy. See how that fits in there like that? Look at that. See that? Fits perfectly. Listen, I don't need much. Put the top back on so it don't go bad. Mix it up. See how I mix that up? And we're ready to do it. Bring my knife in with me. I'll bring this in to set it in out of the heat. Now what I'm doing is taking my mud. I'm going to make a bond to the other drywall on the edge, see? I want to make sure that it gets a good bond and feels good. You see that? And then I want to make sure that I got some good mud around it. I don't want it too thick, but I want it enough to bond. You see how that is? But I don't want it to be too thick either. You see that? And then I'm going to take my piece and I'm going to lay it right in there like that. You see how that goes on? And then I'm going to push it. I'm going to push it in. And then I'm going to take the remainder of the joint compound and I'm going to push it all the way around. Now, I'm going to be careful not to push that piece in too far. But I'm going to do it just like that. Just like that. Now, I'm not going to do it too thick on the first coat. I want it to dry overnight. And I want to make sure that I get it to where it is nice and in there with a good bedded coat. Like that. Now listen, I'm going to use my wider knife to come in and finish this off for first coat and get a good clean bond and good clean coverage. You see that? That is what I'm doing on my first coat. I'm wiping it clean so that it's got a good coverage, but yet not too thick and not bulging out. Now, when I push my mud knife down, I push at an angle like that, leaving it a little bit up on that edge, see? So that I can build it up to the inside. You see how that little ripple's there? I'm not going to worry about it in this case, but I'm going to go over it. I'm doing it more than I'm supposed to, just to show you how I did it. Now, you notice it's pretty smooth. For a first coat, that's not bad. I still got to wait overnight and come back and hit it again. And I'm going to come over it like that, hit that edges so it's not built up too much. And that's what I'm going to leave until tomorrow. But I'm going to make sure it's dried overnight. Now listen, if this was for a customer, I'd be using a fast drying material. I'd probably use something like a 5-minute. And I would do the first coat, which still takes about an hour or two. I'd put a hair dryer on it. I would hit it. I'd want to do it all in one trip. I'd even put my second and third coat on it, and then I would sand it down, and then I'd be ready to clean up and prepare to start painting it. In the meantime, I'm going to take my paint chip and take it to the paint store if I can't find my paint, and have them mix me up in this situation, I'm going to mix a gallon. You could do it with a quart, but I want to have a gallon in case I have to do some more painting somewhere in this room, or paint the whole wall. I don't want to have to buy a second quart. 2 quarts is more expensive than 1 gallon. Let's be sure to clean our tools off once we get through doing the work so that they don't rust. Set them somewhere to dry. That's all you got to do. Just set them somewhere to dry. Now it's dry to the touch, and I'm going to put another coat on it and let it dry overnight. I'm going to take my 6-inch knife. I'm going to scrape a little bit. Once again, I'm going to stir up my mud real good. And then I'm going to skim it. A little bit of trash in it. And this is just the second application. Now notice that I put pressure like this. See, I'm lifting it up to show you. So I'm letting it drag all the way across, but I'm putting a little bit more pressure on the outside perimeter so that I can have that pretty smooth. See? Now I'm scraping my blade clean. Now that's my second coat, and I just wanted to give you a quick look at it. Now I'm getting ready to apply my third and final coat. Again, I'm going to scrape the excess off so I don't get lumps in my mud. I'm going to do some sanding. Now I got a drop cloth down, but I'm going to do a little bit of sanding so that I can actually do a nice smooth coat on this third final coat. Now you can use a sanding block or you can use some sandpaper. And I do circular. I'm going to lightly wipe my wall to get off the loose dust. I don't want to be sanding over that. It won't make a good bond. You see how I do that? And I want to do this before I paint too. Right now I just want to get this off so that I can make a little skim. So I want to wipe it off really good. And you can do a test and see if you got it off. Your hand's real white and you know you didn't get enough. And I'm just kind of going over it. And it's good. Now what I've done is I've mixed a 5-minute mud so that I can get this thing done, and it dries really quick, so you don't have time to mess with it. You just want to fill that in a little bit. That's that little hump I was telling you about. I'm going to leave it up a little bit right there, and I'll sand that out, and it dries really quick. So I'm kind of going over the whole thing. So now, as you see, I've got it nice and smooth all the way around. And when I lightly sand that next time, it's going to be really good. Now some time's gone by, about 10 minutes worth of blow drying, and you see now it's all white and ready to be sanded. We'll take our sanding block and we'll do just like before, preparation of this last and final skim coat. To these edges, main focus is the edges, because we don't want to sand down beyond the hump that we corrected. So the transition is the most important piece of this last sand. Now I'm coming back circular to finish it up. A feel test. It's all good. Now that I finished sanding it, I'm going to wipe it the same way. Now be careful, you could scratch it or scar it with any paper towels or rags. I'm just lightly sanding it, and it's ready for paint. That is how you repair drywall. So now, after 3 applications, the last being a skim coat, and after sanding and wiping it down, it's ready for paint. So that's going to be on the next how-to video, which will be uploaded shortly after this one. Notice that we had an area about the size of my hand, and now it's that big. That's so that it's a smooth transition, and you don't see a hump in it. This is the repair that was made. You can't even see where the repair was done. Thanks for viewing our video. We hope that you've learned a lot. But most of all, we hope that we saved you some money. Please subscribe to our channel. That way you can tune in and watch our how-to videos, and you don't have to call a professional, and you become one yourself. Thanks a lot. Till next time, we'll see you later.